Hi, I'm Ellie, and this is your weekly theatre news recap, the show where I give you news from the UK about theatre. I mean, do I need to explain it more than that? This is the most chaotic way to get your news. If you want to stay up to date with UK theatre, make sure you hit subscribe because I do these every single week for some reason. You guys seem to like it. Let's start as we always do with our casting news. First up, we have the Fabulist, who have announced their cast for the Fabulist. This is why this is the most chaotic way to get your news. The cast include Dan Smith, James Patterson, Stuart Pendred, Constantine Anadronikou, Reka Jonas, and Lily De La Haye. We also have two alternates on this production, who are Jack Holton and Marina Phillips. This musical is running at the Charing Cross Theatre from the 12th of August to the 21st September. This is a great venue to get new musical theatre, really interesting plays, really close to the West End. Literally, if you know where Six and Back to the Future are, you can, it's not even 5 minutes away. So, great venue, really interested, hopefully you'll be able to check this one out. Next up, we have the cast for the Steps musical. Now, we have been waiting on this cast for a while. This is a new musical with the music of Steps. People have been begging for a Steps musical for as long as we can remember, and now we know that the cast premiering in Birmingham are Rebecca Locke, Heber El Sheikh, Charlene Hector, and Blake Patrick Anderson. Now, I will say, I'm someone who vaguely knows Steps. If you asked me to name a Steps song, I probably could give you one. But if you played a Steps song for me and went, is this by Steps? I would probably not be able to tell you. My knowledge of Steps is limited. But this cast single-handedly makes me want to go and see it. These are some fantastic performers. I mean, Rebecca Locke was in the original cast of Heathers. Heber El Sheikh just constantly stepping up the game. Times with his wife, she was amazing in that. Charlene Hector, Standing at Sky's Edge, A Strange Loop. Oh my god, what a voice. She is going to slay in this. And Blake Patrick Anderson, you probably remember from the Hope Mills production of Rent and Be More Chill when it premiered over here. This is a great cast, a fantastic cast. And this probably isn't even it for the cast. These are just our leads. So if the rest of the cast is as strong as this, oh, I'm getting excited. Next up, heading from Birmingham to the West End, we've got to talk about Matilda. Matilda has announced their next cast change. From the 10th of September, Angelica Scott will join the current cast members playing and sharing the role of Matilda. We also have new adult cast members. Tiffany Graves will be joining the production as Mrs. Wormwood, Neil McDermott joining as Mr. Wormwood, and Eve Norris joining as Miss Honey. We also have new ensemble members for both the children's and the adult cast who will be in the description down below. I love Matilda, and I love that I can still get £10 tickets to Matilda, so maybe a return trip to Matilda is due. I haven't seen it in I feel like it's been about a year now, so maybe it's time. Maybe it's time to revisit Matilda. And it's time yet again to return to Birmingham, because we have the cast for the UK premiere of Becoming Nancy. And the cast members are Joseph Peacock as David, Joseph Vella as Maxie, Paige Peddy as Frances, Rebecca Traherne as Kath, Genevieve Nicole as Aunt Val, Matthew Craig as Eddie. We have Stephen Ashfield and Daisy Greenwood, with further casting to be announced soon. Becoming Nancy plays at the Birmingham Rep from Wednesday the 2nd of October to Saturday the 2nd of November. So if you are near Birmingham, you can not only go see the Steps musical, you can also see Becoming Nancy. Continuing on, because we just have quite a lot of casting news this week, and I'm kind of hitting them at the park. I'm speeding through this quite well. Look at me. Maybe doing so many of these videos every single week has made me good at this. I say that, I will proceed to screw up somewhere in this video. We have a new cast member for Murder on the Orient Express, obviously based on the iconic Agatha Christie novel. This is going on a UK tour, and Michael Maloney will be starring as Poirot in this tour. I hope I pronounced that right. I have a feeling I didn't. This tour opens the Lowry in Salford on the 6th of September, and then we'll be touring to Norwich, Plymouth, Canterbury, Glasgow, Leicester, Edinburgh, see, I've already messed it up, Cambridge, Richmond, Malvern, Truro, Newcastle, Guildford, Birmingham, Sheffield, Aberdeen, Southampton, Milton Keynes, Cardiff, York, Nottingham, Dublin and Brighton. Slay. And also Cheltenham. I forgot to put Cheltenham on there. So if you want to catch a lovely Agatha Christie murder mystery, you can catch it then. And finally, in casting news this week, and also kind of an announcement of a show. I mean, we're not surprised because this show has been just constantly touring forever. I don't think there's ever been a time it's not been touring. Blood Brothers, the classic musical, is returning once again to tour, and we have our initial casting. Vivian Carlyle is returning to the role of Mrs. Johnston, having played the character in the show's West End production. Sean Jones and Joe Slight will also return as Mickey and Eddie, and Gemma Broderick will return to the role of Linda. So there's a lot of returning cast members here. Apparently you can't stay away from Blood Brothers, because also returning we have Sarah Jane Buckley as Mrs. Lyons, Scott Anson as the narrator, Tom Churchill as Mr. Lyons, Chloe Pole as Donna Marie, Alex Hartland as the policeman and teacher, Graham Kinnerborough as the postman, and Jess Smith as Brenda. This new leg of the UK tour will be visiting Cardiff, Rule, somebody Welsh tell me how to pronounce this one. I had this in the last weekly news recap, and I pronounced it wrong. This website is giving me this pronunciation.
Real.
Which apparently is a 3 out of 5 stars, so I don't think that's correct. I have Welsh people who've told me how to pronounce things before. That's how I managed to pronounce Land Did Know. I say that, I'm still not 100% sure. I might still be mispronouncing that. Anyway, Blackpool, Skegness, Weston, Supermare, Edinburgh, Aberdeen, Inverness, Glasgow, Newark, Portsmouth, Darlington, Manchester and Leeds, with more tour dates I am sure to be announced very soon. And that is it for casting news this week. Let's move on to concert news. First up, I Am Harvey Milk. This is going to be the European premiere of I Am Harvey Milk, and it's going to be staged in London this October. This musical tells the story of political figure Harvey Milk, the first openly gay man to hold public office in California, and tells his life story up to his assassination in the 70s. Joel Harper Jackson will be taking on the role of Harvey Milk in this production, alongside Sarah Boggess. And in this production, young Harvey Milk will be played by Kian Eagle Service, who is currently playing in the revival of Oliver, and you may have seen him around in The Prince of Egypt, Mary Poppins, Les Mis, and The Witches. Kid gets around. This will be running for 2 performances on Sunday the 27th of October 2024. And a little bit more central to the West End now, we have Sandy Tosvig, who is a comedian who will be presenting a theatre-themed evening of comedy and curiosity called One Night Only, which will be playing at the Theatre Royal Drury Lane in November, specifically the 13th and the 14th of November, but is being inspired by QI, which is a show that she now hosts. I'm pretty sure she took over from Stephen, what's his name? The really famous guy. That one. Stephen Fry. How did I forget Stephen Fry's name? I literally have it in my notes. Stephen Fry. I'm so bad at this. Yes, as it says in my notes right in front of me, she took over hosting the show from Stephen Fry in 2015. So if you want to catch this show, you can see it at the Theatre Royal Drury Lane. That is it for concert news. We also have no miscellaneous news this week, so we can move straight on to the final section in this video, transfers and new productions. First off, we got some further details for The Greatest Showman Circus. What I'll say is that this week, a lot of the news that came out for transfers and new productions are just productions coming back, or productions transferring. There's nothing really like big and new this week. It's things like extending or giving further details, but it's interesting nonetheless. So first off, The Greatest Showman Circus. We knew, they announced it like a month or 2 ago that Come Alive, The Greatest Showman Circus, will be opening in London. Now we know the venue and the dates. This is going to the Empress Museum in London's Earl Court, beginning performances on the 23rd of September 2024. This is going to be presented in a dedicated 700-seat big top space, featuring circus performers and musical theatre stars from the West End. So it seems to be quite a fun new experience and a different way to adapt Greatest Showman. I think a lot of us were expecting a more, Broadway musical style adaptation to come over first, but if you want to taste the Greatest Showman live in front of you, this is a great way to go see it. Next up, returning to the West End and then embarking on a UK tour, The Merchant of Venice 1936 will be playing now at the Trafalgar Theatre from the 28th of December 2024 to the 25th of January 2025. Then going on their UK tour, visiting Liverpool, Bath, Southend, Salford, Fareham, Leeds, Cardiff and Birmingham. Returning to the show is Tracy Ann Oberman, who previously performed the role at the Criterion when it was last in the West End. So if you want to catch this show, you can go see it either in the West End this January/December or on its UK tour. Also going from the West End to a UK tour is Boys from the Blackstaff. This play bounced around different London venues. It started in Liverpool, then bounced to the National Theatre, and then went, that's not good enough. And straight away, as it closed at that venue, went and moved to the Garrick Theatre, where it is currently playing and almost towards the end of its West End run. But it will be going on a UK tour next year. It will be starting at the Theatre Royal Windsor on the 29th of January, and then will visit theatres, including a return to its home city at the Liverpool Empire from the 25th to the 29th of March 2025. Currently, those are the dates we know. We don't know any other dates. Seeing as January to March, there's a pretty decent gap within there. I feel like it's going to have quite a few different venues on its tour, but we'll have to wait and see. Next up, going from one James Graham play to another, Punch. James Graham's play Punch is going to be transferring to London's Young Vic next spring. This is a play that premiered in Nottingham, and the artistic director of that venue will be bringing the production to London. Julie Hesmond-Holg and Tony Hurst will both be reprising their roles as Joan and David, alongside David Shields, who is also returning to the role of Jacob. It has also been announced that the cast will be completed by Alex Budin as Raph, D.S. Villas as Sam, Shalisha James Davies as Claire, and Nicola. I gave the name Nicola a very certain flair there. Do you know how I pronounced it? I pronounced it how Annalise Ashford pronounced his Nicola in the Kinky Biz musical. Nicola. And Emma Pallant as Wendy, Sandra and Jacob's mum. This will be running at the Young Vic from the 1st of March to the 12th of April 2025. So we got a little while to wait for this play, but James Graham, beautiful. Every time I see a James Graham play, I'm never disappointed. I mean, Best of Enemies was at this venue before transferring to the West End. Dear England, so good. James Graham, such a good playwright. I can't wait to go and see this. And finally, for news this week, we have some further tour dates for Mary Poppins. So, a couple of months ago, it was announced that Mary Poppins will be going on a UK tour. Lovely to see it touring. I was a bit worried that we weren't going to see it again after the West End production closed, but it is going on a UK tour, previously announced to be going to Bristol, Dublin and Plymouth, and then Manchester. Newly announced tour stops include the Birmingham Hippodrome from the 16th of July, Mayflower Theatre Southampton from the 27th of August, Sunderland Empire from the 1st of October, and Milton Keynes Theatre from the 29th of October. I don't think that was fast enough. I feel like you guys are going to be very disappointed that wasn't fast enough. What's very interesting is that they say that casting for these dates and additional venues will be confirmed in due course. Obviously, we know that the first lot of tour dates, we have Stephanie Jones and Jack Chambers as Mary Poppins and Bert, but it hasn't been confirmed that these new tour dates will have Jones and Chambers as Poppins and Bert. So we may be seeing another Mary Poppins and Bert. So I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see who else will be taking on these iconic roles. But that is all your news this week. What are you most excited for? Tell me all your thoughts in the comments down below. If you did enjoy this video, please consider hitting like and subscribe. It really helps me, it helps the channel. Here's some links to some other videos on screen right now and a link to my Instagram if you'd like to drop me a follow over there. But that's it for me today, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.